Happy Monday, everybody. So tonight we're going to talk about plant medicine, brain health, microdosing as a prevention, not just a treatment. So we're just going to go ahead and dive right in. Um, the hard truth about this is that your brain is literally shrinking, and nobody's talking about it. So as we age, we have cognitive decline. Why do you think there's dementia, Alzheimer's, all those things? You get forgetful. These things lead to depression, anxiety, cognitive decline, feeling like you're kind of living on autopilot. When's the last time you felt truly mentally sharp, creative, emotionally balanced? Is this your day-to-day existence, or is this something that you kind of strive for? So everybody talks about microdosing and neuroplasticity. So what the hell is neuroplasticity anyway? It's kind of like the renovation crew in your brain. It's your constant construction site. It builds new neural pathways. It strengthens connections, clears out the old junk. So it's how you learn. It's how you remember. It's how you recover. The difference between microdosing and typical therapy is that therapy can take years and microdosing can do it pretty quickly. So therapy is clearing the path, and psychedelics are a controlled burn that lets the force kind of regenerate. So over time, basically, psychedelics boost BDNF, which is brain fertilizer, and it catalyzes a burst of synaptic growth. So it opens a window of enhanced neuroplasticity that lasts for weeks. So your brain can keep regenerating for weeks on end. So your default mode network, what is that? It's the CEO of your brain. It's responsible for your ego. It's your story of self. It's the jerk that lives in your head and says the mean stuff to you. So when you ruminate, when you're depressed, when you're in anxiety, it's because your DMN is hyperactive. So it's stuck in kind of like a loop of negative self-talk, right? So what it does is, psilocybin helps quiet that default mode network. It helps slow it down, making it less hyperactive. So, you can slow down that negative self-talk. So let's for a second do a little exercise. Close your eyes for 5 seconds. Really sit in it. Do you notice that little voice in your head, the chatter? That's your default mode network. We're here to quiet it down this evening. So there's two ways to play in this field. And what's the difference between micro and macrodosing? So microdose is subperceptual, meaning you don't feel high. It optimizes your brain, your focus, your mood balance. The vibe is like, I had a really good day. And you integrate it in your daily life, kind of like another supplement. Macrodose journey is the full psychedelic experience. So this is good for deep healing. It's for trauma release. It's for a full reset. Knowing yourself better, an inner well-being becomes very apparent. The vibe is my entire perspective is shifted. The routine is a ceremonial event. So you do this with set and setting, meaning you set the intention and you make sure the setting is conducive to that kind of deep healing. So anybody here thought of if you had to trip to get benefits, do you think you have to do that? Do you think you have to trip to get benefits? You don't. Subperceptual dose is super effective. The macrodose really is just like 10 years of therapy in 10 hours. So it's just a quicker route. The paradigm shift, prevention versus treatment. So the old way, the way that we've been living our lives is I'll wait till I'm burned out, I'm anxious, I'm depressed, and then I'll take a pill to numb the symptoms. The new way, the more proactive way is I'm going to optimize my brain for health now. So I have the resilience, creativity, and emotional bandwidth to handle whatever life throws at me. So microdosing is really a tool for optimization. It's not fixing what's broken, it's optimizing what exists. So are you playing defense, like waiting for a crisis, or offense, which is building resilience? How many of you guys are in one or the other camp? So you guys are all kind of hanging out waiting. Good to know. So what is the results? What do they actually look like? For cognitive function, you get into flow state on demand. You have less brain fog. You have the ability to connect disparate ideas, and the noise in your brain, that mean old voice, calms down. For emotions, you have more patience with kids, with work, with your husband, with your wife, with your parents. You have reduced anxiety loops. You feel more present instead of rush, and you have deeper empathy for others. And the creative aspect, you unlock stuck projects, meaning you're not caught in this loop of how. You start to think outside the box. You have a sense of wonder returning, and you're reconnecting with your intuition. Which of these do you need most right now? Pick one. Take a second. Really feel into this. Or do you need them all? It isn't one or the other when you're microdosing or macrodosing. These are all benefits across the board, so you don't have to choose. So there's several ways to do microdosing. So Paul Stamets is a mushroom guy. He discovered that combining certain ingredients increases synergy that bursts neurogenesis, which means brain growth even further. So when you combine psilocybin with lion's mane or niacin, it biohacks your brain, which is pretty dang cool. So who here already takes lion's mane or any other shroom like that? Reishi, cordyceps, anything like that? Well, in doing so, you're already halfway there. So look at you for getting started. So let's get real. Let's talk about the safety, the legality in doing this right. So the legality is psilocybin is still illegal in many places, but it's also decriminalized in many places. So make sure you know your local laws. Source from trusted, safe providers. You want to be sure you know where it's coming from so that you're not getting something weird or wonky. And this is not something you should do recklessly. With safety first, make sure whoever your provider is that you get a medical screening, critical if you're on SSRIs, MAOIs, anything like that. Make sure that if you have a history of bipolar disorder or psychosis, that you just don't do this. In the set and setting, even for microdosing, your intention matters. So we want to be sure that we're journaling. We want to make sure we're using tools, breath work, meditation, etc., with our intention for microdosing. And the protocols, we start low and we go slow. We can do the Fadiman protocol. We can do the Stamets Stack protocol. We can do journaling. We can do a protocol that works just for you. Make sure you work with a coach as well, because things are going to come up and they're going to help you with your different perspective, and they're going to help you really look into what you got going on and give you some tools like some breath work, some meditation, some journaling prompts that are really going to help you work through these things. So what questions do you guys have about safety and legality? Make sure you write them down, and you can reach out to me at any time and we can talk through them, or reach out to your attorney, your trusted advisor. So your brain's future starts now. Neuroplasticity is a use it or lose it game. So the default path is cognitive decline, rigid thinking patterns, emotional numbness, just getting by, making it through the day. The optimized path with microdosing is sustained neuroplasticity, cognitive flexibility, emotional depth and resilience, and it's thriving and creating. So you have a choice. Which path are you going to take? What future are you building for yourself today? So let's make this real. You don't have to figure this out alone. You can have a curiosity call. It's a 15-minute chat to discuss your brain goals, to see if this is right for you. There's no pressure, just vibes. So you can book a free call with us and you can talk to us about what you got going on, any questions or concerns. You can join our guided microdosing program, and it includes a sourcing guide, community, weekly coaching. It includes feedback weekly. It includes monthly feedback, and it includes a text program where you can get the support that you need. And if you're ready for a deep dive or a reset, explore a guided macrodose journey for deep emotional healing and breakthrough. This is your path, and it's up to you to decide what you want to do, and your future self is waiting for you to make the first move. Here's how you can join the movement, stay connected, and keep learning. We're at psilygirl.com. Instagram, we're at psilygirl, and we are also at jen@psilygirl.com, not hello@psilygirl.com. We're not using that email anymore, so it's jen@psilygirl.com. And go ahead and set up your call today so we can talk through what you got going on and if we can, in fact, help you. We do, like I mentioned, have a sourcing guide, so you can look into that as well. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful evening and have a great night.